We're at the Hardin County Clerk's office. We want to go through the voting process for this general election, and it's really upon us right now. Absentee voting is already in progress, and we want to speak to some of the clerks about how this will go when you actually come in to vote, or if you have got to vote on day of, what those 10 locations are, and just some of the parameters on how the machines work and things like that. So if you come in to the clerk's office, you'll walk in, you'll come up to one of these windows, and then they'll greet you. Normally they'd be on that side of the glass, but for hearing purposes, we want her to be able to be heard, so we're talking to her here. Explain to us what we do when we get to the window.
Okay, so first we have 3 types of in-person voting. There's in-person excused absentee, which starts Wednesday, October 26th. It's the 26th, 27th, 28th, the 31st, November 1st and 2nd. It's from 7:45 to 4:30 here at the clerk's office. You'll just come up to one of the windows and one of the clerks will greet you. They're gonna ask for your ID and your official reason for needing to vote in-person excused absentee. And then we have early voting, which is open to all voters. It's November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, here at the county clerk's office, 7:45 to 4:30. And the important part is everyone can do early voting. And then on November 8th, we have election day voting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at one of the 10 voting centers. And you can find those voting centers on our website, or I'm sure you're gonna post them also.
Yes. And you will not be able to vote at the clerk's office on election day.
Correct, not on election day. If you do come here though, we will direct you to one of the closest voting centers.
Okay, so there are 10 scattered around Hardin County. Find the one closest to you. Doesn't matter where you live, because they will be able to give you your ballot. Now explain how that works.
So we found that because our county is so geographically large that people don't always work close to where they live. So for instance, if you lived on the south end of the county and you worked on Fort Knox, you might not be able to make it to your voting center by the time 6 p.m. got there on election day. So to ensure you were able to vote, we have voting centers. So you choose whichever one of the 10 is most convenient for you, and you're not assigned. All 10 locations will have a ballot that you can vote that is your ballot. It's all precinct level reporting, and so we will get you your ballot no matter where you go to vote.
And you start that off by me giving you my driver's license.
Correct. Driver's license is the most common ID we get, but we just need a picture ID with your name on it. If you lost your picture ID that day, don't worry, come on down. We can use your social security card and your credit card, anything you got with your name on it, but we might have to have you sign another affidavit. So we're just gonna do the check-in process.
Okay.
I'm gonna scan the back of your driver's license. And Brian, if you'll just sign. Now we are in test mode because we don't start in-person voting, but we do have a sample ballot for you to vote today.
So this won't count for anything.
No, it has superheroes on it, not actual candidates' names. Here's your ID back. And for today's purpose, here's your ballot.
Okay, so this is just an idea of what the ballot will look like, but the ballot the day of, when you come in, is going to have a much longer ballot.
Correct. It's going to be 8.5 by 14, and all the ballots are one piece of paper, but it's going to be on both sides, where this is blank on this side.
Okay, so I then go over to one of these locations, and you'll explain to me what happens here.
We've got new equipment this year. It's still a paper ballot that gets scanned into an optical scanning system. If you were to be a person that had disabled, had needs that we couldn't accommodate with just a visual paper ballot, we have a machine that will let you. It will produce a paper ballot for you regardless of your abilities. We call that the Duo system, but otherwise, and it'll give you a paper ballot that then you can bring to this same machine as everybody else and scan. So this is the only voting system we have now, only voting machine we'll have. And you're going to put it in there, and I will tell you, like they were saying a second ago, these ballots are front and back. If you leave the back blank, if you don't flip it over and and vote something on there, when you put it in, it'll kick it back out and say, hey, you left the page blank, is that okay? And you can always say, yeah, sure, because you may not want to vote for that stuff on the back, and it'll take your ballot and count it just like normal. But it lets you know, and it lets you know about a lot of little things. If you make little weird marks in places it doesn't expect, if you just accidentally made it, it'll kick it out and say, hey, this is a very light mark, things like that. So it's got a lot of intelligence built into it. You can put that in face up, face down, front end, back end. Just don't try to put it in sideways because it won't take it. And just like our other system, it counts the ballots, reads that ballot in an optical format. There's nothing in a barcode. There's nothing like that. The barcodes that are on there just make sure it knows which side's up and which side's in front. That's all that's doing for us. So then you just take one of those and feed it in.
So just take it up there.
And then just like our other system, when you see the American flag, the vote counted. Okay, that's it.
By the way, one of the people on that ballot was marked was Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Yes,
so
right.
yeah, fake ballots. So real quick, just so people understand, maybe I choose to vote straight party ticket. I
Yeah.
don't vote political candidates, one or the other. So if I do that,
Right.
that still doesn't count for every race because we have a lot of nonpartisan races.
We do. We have a lot of city council races. We have all of the questions that are on the back. The constitutional amendments, those are going to be nonpartisan. All your judicial races are nonpartisan. So if you just do straight party and don't look at the rest of your ballot, that'll be one of those reasons why it'll push it back out, because almost all these ballots, the back is nothing but nonpartisan stuff. So you're going to want to go ahead and look through the rest of your ballot. Also, a lot of times people go in and they look at that because in the spring you have to tell the election officers which party you are. Well, some people look at this ballot face and they see that Republican and the Democrat at the top, and they think that's where they've got to check off which they are. And so then they go on down through and vote how they want to regardless. That's fine, because what the system does is when you vote a straight party, any vote you do down under there overrides that just for that race.
So for example, any of these here for United States Representative Bruce Banner,
right.
the Hulk, if you voted for him as an independent, it wouldn't matter if you had checked either of those
Wouldn't
boxes.
matter.
You would still get to vote for
Right,
the
you'll
Hulk.
get that vote, and then it'll just, for that race, that party will be ignored.
Okay. Anything else we're missing?
No, I don't think so, just
So at that point, I get my sticker that I voted, and I'm
yeah,
out
you're
the door.
good, you're out, that's right.
These are, by the way, we kind of skipped over this because we weren't actually voting. These are the little privacy areas where you would take a pen and you would take the time to go ahead and mark those down.
And we'll have several of the stand-up kind in the polling centers, and we're gonna have those at the lower level, like on a table, so somebody in a wheelchair or somebody with a walker can sit down and vote in one of those. So we try to accommodate everybody that shows up so they can vote just as quickly and efficiently as anybody else.
Okay. So if you have any further questions, you can certainly follow along on our pages. You can go to govoteky.org, and you can also check out the Hardin County Clerk's pages and make sure to stay informed about how to vote in this general election.